So I want to talk about my time actually going into NXT. Okay, so yeah, it's actually interesting, Mr. Gunter. Like, when you just looking at your career, how you went from like where you lived, then you went to NXT UK. How did your hiring actually happen? Oh no, it's a very fascinating story. I remember at the time when I actually like was very very huge. I was very humongous. And as I said, that Vince McMahon had gave me an opportunity. He was like, hey, go to NXT UK. So I just told you. I don't know what you're trying to do. Yeah, I just told you the whole story there. I thought there was an. Oh, no. Vince McMahon saw me. He was like, hey, you can't be here right at all because you're not really experienced. You're not a good wrestler. So just go to NXT UK and look at them. All of them are midgets. So you just go and do something to them. You're big. That's what I did. So what I did is that I did this thing of slapping because I used to slap a mate. I used to slap my mate a lot. You can't blame me. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. So when I didn't have a girlfriend, what I used to do is that I was very home, was very hungry, hungry eating anything and hungry in other times too. And I was like, hey, let me slap this mate. And I used to slap my mate a lot. And when I was slapping my mate, I was like, hey, I think I can actually do this on the ring. So that is what I did. I slapped the mate. I slapped mate all the time. And yes, when I went into the ring, I remember there was Chad Gable who was there, who was like, hey, are we going to help you be a sparring partner or something? Then he came to the ring. I was like, slapped him, and he said it's good. He was like, hey, you are very experienced. And he didn't know that the origins of the story is that I was slapping my meat. Hey, yes, great story. I know, great story. I know. Yeah, that's very fascinating. Well, what about the jumping on top? Well, that is a very great story too. Unfortunately, it's sexual too. I remember I was in a party in this other place in New Hampshire, and I was, invited by this other friend of mine, not colleague, he's actually a colleague, but I can't say his name because I might get in like fight or something. Either way, so we had a party, and stuff like that, and we had fun, we were drunk, we got we were very drunk. And I remember I went on top of the of the building, of the house, I went on top, and then I jumped onto the pool, and man, the pool just splashed on everybody. And when I splashed on everybody, some bras fell off, and I saw some titties. I was like, hey, this is very great. I mean, who doesn't love titties, right? I was like, yeah, this is a very great scene. I was like, hey, I love this moment. And I was like, yes, it is very fascinating. So I was very fascinated to me. And then I was like, hey, I should actually do this a lot. And when I was done, I was like recovering because I actually hurt my chest a bit. This young lady came to me. By young lady, I mean she was illegal of age. Okay, not that way. Okay, all right, either way. So she's probably 22 or something. She came to me. She was like, hey, you know what? I want you to do what you did at the pool. Then I climbed on top of a cupboard, and then I jumped on top of her. And thankfully she didn't die. I was like, hey, there's a fetish or something. It was great. And then, yes, after that, she said goodbye. I was very shocked. I thought she was going to give me something. Then I had to slap my mate. So, man, it's a very bad story, but yes, now I take off that aggression in the ring. Every time I'm in the ring, I use the same splash. I remember that girl that she refused, I had to slap my mate. I had to slap mate. So I do that a lot. Well, that's very fascinating, Mr. Gunter. Just hearing you just speak about that so emphatically with so much passion and stuff like that. So I really just curious about like how actually the powerbomb actually like started. A lot of people actually usually say that you have the worst powerbomb in history. I wonder, how did you actually originate your powerbomb? Hey, buddy, people that say that the powerbomb is the worst, they are very crazy, hey. This powerbomb is one of the greatest things ever. I remember when I was actually in the ring, I was here in Portland, Oregon. Yes, I know the places in America. Yes, I know. Either way, I was in Portland, America, I went into a club, we had this huge party. As you can see, I'm a party guy. You see the stomach, yeah. By the way, Gunther's actually standing. This yeah. Let me start. Hey, there's no recording. Hey, we have to do this with our stomach. Yeah, let's look at the stomach. Yeah. Thankfully, people cannot see this. I mean, look at this African now. There's nothing. All right. Either way. So what I was actually saying to you is that so I was in a club, in a party. We really have a great time. And it was really fascinating. I was like, wow, this is very great. And then we are drinking a lot of booze. We drank a lot of booze. And then this guy came to me. He was like, hey, you get out of this place, you fat bastard. I was like, hey, did you just call me fat? And it's like, he said to me, boy, are you fat? No, I said, what did you just say to me, buddy? He was like, Like the song says, "Boy, are you fat." I loved it, but I said, that was great, and I slapped the living mate out of him. I took him, and hey, when I took him, I slapped his stomach, I slapped his stomach, I slapped it, I slapped his stomach, I slapped his mate a lot. I slapped his mate very much, and yes, it was a very gruesome sight, and yeah, people say, hey, that's not actually good that you slap people that much, and then I was like, hey, but some people actually cheering me on, say that's a great thing. So what I did is that I picked him up. Then I powerbombed him on top of, like a table which was full of drinks, and drinks fell on top of him. And people were like, hey, this is very good. This is very good. They forgot that I slapped him too much. I was like, this is very great. And I was very proud of myself. So, yes, that's how actually the powerbomb originated. So most of my moves actually originated in a club, in a party, in a sizing counters. And I'm very proud of them. Very proud of them. Okay, Mr. Gunther, that's actually very fascinating to hear. By the way, I'm actually very curious about because you went from NXT UK, that was actually a great time when you became the longest NXT UK champion, and then you fought Pete Dunne, like in New York. How did you feel about like being the longest NXT UK champion and fighting Pete Dunne? Oh, Pete Dunne, I don't feel anything at all. Pete Dunne is a loser. He's butch. All he does is bore people to death. And think of it, it's a bad combination. I mean, I'm boring. There's nothing good I say. I'm not funny at all. Then Butch is boring. He's bland. All he does is break fingers. I mean, what is that? That is like some 1950s things. Yeah, that was very boring to me. And I was like, this is not a good concept at all. We have a bad combination, but we had a good match. That was the good thing about it. And being NXT UK for a long time was great. And listen, it's not because that they wanted me to be that, but let's be honest. I mean, it was not believable for the small guys to actually beat me, because I'm Gunther and I'm big and I had a big stomach and I got beat them easily. Joe Coffey, Pete Dunne, whoever, Tyler Bate, all those guys, they're just losers. Look at how short they are. They're like, I don't know, 5'1" or something. So there's no chance that they have. Okay, so a lot of people have actually been shitting on Triple H's booking. I say that is a trash book. What opinions do you have on Triple H? I've heard this thing a lot. A lot of people actually been saying a lot of bad things about Triple H, saying that it's not a good book at all, say that it's trash. Listen, it's not trash at all. It's just that the times have changed. What can you do? Are you going to try to be edgy in today's society? It's very hard to be edgy here. I'm out here boring as fuck. I'm not here just coming out in a suit. I look like a part-time general. I never show up. I'm always on vacation. By vacation, I'm home because I'm cheap. And I don't want to spend a lot of money. My suits, and I'm trying to copy Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes is the standard procedure of WWE universe. That's nice, and I'm trying to copy Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes is the most boring person in the world. I mean, look at Cody Rhodes. The only thing that is good at is sounding like a bitch. I'm so sorry to say that, by the way. Am I allowed to cuss on this radio station? Yes, you're allowed. All right. Thank you very much. Why do you sound very tired? Either way, it doesn't matter. The main star of this show is me. I'm the ring general. I'm the main star, and I don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks. So I'm out here to spread the truth and to tell you everything about what is happening behind the scenes. So either way, Triple H, as I said, that it is a new society, it's a new time, a new system. Vince McMahon is gone, and the old man is a big bastard. The guy was very interesting. He was very dramatic. He had very interesting storylines. He was very good. He used to have Batista, The Rock, Stone Cold, all big guys like that. And then now look at us. Does the WWE have? They have Gunther. Imagine how bad the times are that you have me as the World Heavyweight Champion and I'm the undisputed champion. And not only that, but look at all the people that are trying to fight for the championship. They're all jobbers. Who is going to fight for my title? Is it going to be Akira Tozawa? Man, I'm not a hater of Akira Tozawa or anything, but I mean, look at the guy. He's a loser. He's a piece of shit. There's nothing good about Akira Tozawa. He's boring. He's trash. As I was saying, there's nothing interesting about him. So either way, when I look at the current system of WWE, you see a guy like Jey Uso becoming a huge star. Then you see that talent does not even matter in wrestling anymore. All it matters is saying yeet and come out with stupid corny catchphrases. This guy is not interesting at all. There's nothing good about him. But this guy is placed on all the plasters and all the cups. I could have been placed on cups, but I'm not even placed on one cup. Alright, okay, I understand, Gunther. But why do you specifically think that WWE right now sucks Because a lot of people actually say, "All right, Mr. Rambler, I see what you're trying to do there, buddy. I see what you're trying to confuse me. You're trying to be a little bit risky. I see what you're trying to do." And I'm not. Yeah, I'm trying to see what you're trying to do. I know maybe this is an African thing. Maybe you're trying to be very dramatic here. Listen, I'm a very straight up guy. I'm very straight. That's what I did there? Yes. I'm not centralist. Anyway, what I was saying to you is very simple. All right. What I was saying is that I am a direct general, and I am very upfront. And as I said, that I love to slap meat. I love slapping meat. I have a fetish for slapping meat. It's one of my favorite fetishes ever. I slap meat all the time, and I think it's very fascinating. And then what I love to do mostly is that I love to jump on people. I mean, it's great to jump on people. It's very great.